figured it was about time we do an update. This is our breeder colony in the aquarium in the house. The injured one you see back there, we just brought him in from the tank outside. He got stuck in the pump and seems to be doing okay. Wanted to bring him in here because they're less likely to be aggressive with him and eat him in here. He's swimming around, he's eating. I think he's going to survive. As you can see, the girls are getting much bigger. The golden sex lynx and the rooster seem to like to stay up top. The girls like to come down to the bottom. And you know what chickens really like? Blackberries. It's about time for us to move them again. They've been here for a few days now and they pretty much decimated everything on the ground underneath of them. We had this dropped off. Not sure if it's worth patching all the holes to make it into a pond, or if we're going to fix it and make it into a hot tub, or what we're going to do with it, but it was free. Came with two 5-horsepower pumps, a 1-horsepower air pump, and we'll see what we do with it. As you can see, our volunteer blackberries are doing quite well. They're all over the place. Loquat finally made it into the ground. We're hoping we chose an appropriate location for it and have been kind of babying it until it takes root. We decided we like raising fish. We have that huge liner there that we got from that fish tank that we took apart, and we are digging a hole to put the liner in. This pond, little pond, when it's done will hold about 3,500 gallons of water and will be capable of raising up 1,000 tilapia. As you can see, the solid bar is not looking the greatest. Almost everything has bolted in the summer heat, and we've decided to let it go for seed because it's kind of pointless to put any more in. This little pepper seems to be doing well in here, and of course you can see our parsley is still going nuts. Our strawberry plants are making us lots of little strawberries. We've still left them in the pots. Just trying to make sure they don't have any viruses before I go to the trouble of putting them into the system. The Dutch bucket is looking wild. Hadn't really thought about a high support for all of these. This is the supposed to be jelly bean tomatoes, but they seem to be getting quite big. And these are just heirlooms in here. We've been running into an insect problem. I found one tomato worm today and fed it to the tilapia, but we're just keeping an eye on what's going on here. Blueberries are not quite living up to expectation. We didn't get as many berries as it looked like we were going to get from all the buds we had. There's still a lot of berries in here. Some of them are just now starting to ripen up. Not quite there yet, but we'll still end up with a lot of blueberries. Nowhere near what we were expecting. I tend to think that maybe some of our pollinating friends were a little too busy to be able to pollinate all of the flowers that were on all of these. And it may be time that we start focusing on getting our beehives. Our duckweed experiment using this old hot tub kind of failed. We've pulled it off to the side. What you see in there right now is rainwater that's accumulated in it since we moved it. Gonna have to turn it up on its side so we don't get mosquito larvae. But we moved it out of the way to make room for our summer cool down space. Notice that the water looks a little bit murky. From those that have been following for a long time, you should recognize that little pan. That's what we were raising our tomatoes in. And then we had transferred them into this system here. Well, we finally got the rest of the rock put in. So, consequently, the water has gone murky from the clay and stuff that's in the rock. But it'll clear up. Got some peppers in there. This bean is doing wonderful. out the top of the dome. And we put a couple of small tomatoes in here to get this started. I'm going to replant that up there with shorter plants. And we're going to put all the tomatoes to this side of the system. That's south out that way, so that the tomatoes don't block sunlight from the other plants. And as you can see right there again on our broccolis, we do have some kind of an insect problem that we haven't been able to eliminate yet. The other system, which is our floating raft system, we've been using for doing cuttings and growing, rooting out plants to put in the other systems. It's a mess. Everything is surviving, looking a little bit nutrient deficient. The lettuces that we had in there all bolted, which is why we decided not to plant anymore until it cools back down. The Swiss chard, not looking so hot. Phenomenal for rooting tomatoes. And what do we have here? We have more fish food. This is what we do with tomato worms in fairy gardens. The fish will get him. They've just been fed, so they're probably not real hungry right now. As you can see, the sump is just as murky. It's clay that washed out from these rocks. Probably should have pre-washed the rocks, but I'm hoping that the pump's going to pump the clay up and put it back into the system and become part of the biomass for the system. So, that's where we're at with everything. Thanks for watching.